guys, it is April from Getting Hooga With It. Today we're here to chat about the top 5 books that I read in winter. So let's get into it. Now I need to preface this with the fact that I've got a little baby crawling around on the floor while I'm filming this. So you might hear her in the background. She's very cute, so you'll have to forgive me. She's hanging out with us today. But I wanted to dive into the best books that I read in winter. I am so excited to talk about them again, so let's dive right in. I do have to preface this with, I went and picked up all of the books, and I realized every single one of these books are in my top 5 of winter because of booktubers. So I did a video at the very beginning of the year, just going through the books that I had on my shelves for the most part that booktubers had said were their favorites of 2019, and I included them in a dedicated bookshelf that I really wanted to read in 2020, and I'm going through them, and not surprisingly, they've all landed on this list, or many of them have. So I will also mention in here who picked what and loved what, and it's so nice. But let's just dive right in. So this first one I ended up giving 4 stars. By the way, I read all of these in January and February. December was kind of a crap month. So these are all January, February favorites. So yeah, this first one is a 4-star read for me, and it's Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. Now this was very much loved by Sophia from Sofia Reads, and she listed it as one of her favorites from 2019, and I loved it too. This is historical fiction. Well, it does that thing where you bounce back and forwards in time. We meet a woman in present day whose father is a senator. She's helping her father out on the campaign trail, or he's trying to become a senator. In any case, they go to an elderly care home, and while they're there, she meets someone there who really impacts her, and this woman's past is tied to her family history, which is super cool. And then you go backwards in time, where you meet this group of siblings living in the South, and they are essentially kidnapped. There was this terrible, terrible woman named Georgia Tan who actually did live. She would steal children from poorer families and then claim that they're actually orphans and sold them off to rich families. Not a good person at all. And so we follow this group of siblings who are kidnapped, and it's what happens to them. It's very, very sad and upsetting a lot of the time. There are triggery things in here for child abuse. And that was hard to read, but I cared about these kids so much. And I think Lisa Wingate is coming out with a new one really soon. If not, like, it's already out, just came out. And now I really want to read that too. So that's Before We Were Yours. Absolutely loved it. So thank you, Sophia. Next is a kind of funny, dark humor. It's called My Sister, the Serial Killer. And this one was a favorite of a couple of people. Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, and also Simon's mom. She doesn't have her own YouTube channel, but I added her favorites from 2019 to my list of books I need to read this year. So My Sister, the Serial Killer is a very strange book. I listened to this on audio. It was amazing. I will highly recommend that. This follows a woman whose sister is a serial killer. And she always says, you know, my boyfriend attacked me. I had no choice but to kill him. And so she has helped her sister time and time again clean up these murder scenes, dispose of the body. And she's starting to realize that maybe her sister isn't actually a victim in any way, but maybe she's actually a a serial killer, just a brutal psychopath. And she works at a hospital. One day, this doctor, who she has a real crush on, meets her sister, and her sister shows an interest in this doctor. And so she's trying to somehow like save this doctor from a terrible ending. Yeah, so that's My Sister the Serial Killer. I really, really enjoyed this one for sure. Highly recommend that. Another book I highly recommend, and this one shocked me because it's YA, guys. I liked YA, Who Am I? It's Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and this was loved by Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. It's such a fun read. I really like dystopian, well, this is utopian YA, and this follows a world in which death does not happen to any of us. We have gotten so far in science that we can live forever. Isn't that amazing? Except, of course, the world is overpopulated, and in the end, what needs to happen are people need to be killed off, and they're killed off supposedly randomly by scythes. We meet two people, two teenagers, a boy and a girl, who are in training to become scythes. Incredibly twisty-turny. I could not stop flipping the pages. I've got the second book on my shelves, and I don't have the third quite yet, but I really, really enjoyed Scythe, and I would definitely recommend it for those of you who don't like YA or struggle with YA. I want to say at this point, I just struggle with YA. I would so recommend this, especially if you do like a dystopian world, super fast-paced book. Next is, no one will be surprised by this, it's Blue Monday by Nikki French. So I have been slowly going through all of the Nikki French books. I'm on Thursday's Children right now. So Blue Monday was recommended by Jen Campbell, and wow, guys, I found a police procedural, well, it's not quite. It's this Detective-y series that I fall in love with. But we follow Frida Klein, who is a psychotherapist, and she gets involved with these cases. In this particular book, she has a man come to her for psychiatric help, and she's sitting with him, and he's talking about this red-headed boy that he's always wanted. He and his wife have been going through years of infertility, and he has this dream about this boy that he's always wanted. And I think 2 days later, a boy very much matching that description goes missing. And so Frida starts to question whether this man is a kidnapper or what, and she gets involved in the case. It's so good. Frida is such a complex character. I'm learning things about her in Thursday's Children that she is like an onion in and of herself, and it's a privilege to get to know her. I'm really, really enjoying the series. So that's very good. I've got to go and save my child from doom. Be right back. Crisis averted. She's still living, so that's good. Okay, so last but not least, the last book that I want to talk about here is probably still my favorite book that I've read this year thus far. This can change. It's Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is just masterfully written. This was recommended to me by several people. Emma from Drinking by Myself, Sofia Reads, Impression Blends. Lots and lots of people threw this on their 2019 favorites list, and I don't blame them. This is a courtroom drama thriller. Sorry, it's Nora's little playmat that I have in the library going off there. In any case, we follow several people involved in this court case. There's a family who own something called a miracle submarine, which is meant to help people with various illnesses, whether it's infertility, autism, what have you. people go in this miracle submarine, I think there's a heavy dose of oxygen and it's meant to help them with their illness. Sadly, one day there's an explosion and a fire breaks out and kills 2 or 3 people, and several people in the miracle submarine are injured as well. We follow the people that were in that miracle submarine. We follow the mothers who've lost their children, and a mother of one of the children that died is on trial for having set the fire on purpose. She is, of course, saying that she's innocent. It is amazing. This is such a gray book where no one is completely in the right, no one is completely in the wrong. There are no villains, there are no heroes. There's just people. And I thought it was brilliant. Like, truly, truly brilliant. I so highly recommend Miracle Creek if you haven't read it, or if you haven't thought about reading it. If it's not on your radar, I so highly recommend it. It's so good. Nora, can you stop eating the tripod? She likes it. Yeah, so that's Miracle Creek. And those are the books that I loved this winter. It's been such a good reading year so far. I'm very, very lucky. Nora, do you want to come say hello? Yeah, we can come through. Want to come say hello? Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. What's going on? I was just trying to get to an electrical outlet. I'm a real risk taker, but Mom saved me. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe. Let me know in the comments below what was the best book that you read in winter, or just tell me all of the wonderful books that you read in winter. I'd love to know. And I'll talk with you soon. Bye. 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 I'm gonna go and eat something bad for me now. Dirt. Oh, lovely.